Kia ora and welcome to the Aotearoa Rugby Pod once again, off the back of the Crusaders winning another title and another away final, which is incredible the way that they do it away from home. We'll be getting into plenty about that. Maybe a bit of feedback from the All Blacks coach that we've had after last week's episode as well. Stay tuned for what Ian Foster had to say. And before we get to any of that though, we've got a few guests coming in. First, of course, James Parsons, as ever, in the studio after what was a hell of a final.
It was a great final.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of chat about, I suppose, the refereeing performance, but it was still one of the great finals. And even though Chiefs were penalised a hell of a lot, it went down to the wire.
Yeah, it was. And now joining us on a Monday, for the first time in 4 years on a Monday after a Super Rugby final, it's Bryn Hall. Thank you very much, Bryn, for joining us. And Bryn's mate alongside him, Jack Goodhue. You know, Jack, Bryn has never showed up on a Monday before, so we really appreciate you in the middle of celebrations turning up on the show.
Oh, mate. Like I said, I wouldn't just do it for anyone. You know, Bryn was joined us for a few celebrations last night, and he asked me, and I think I owe him a few favours after serving him some raw chicken when we were staying together about 5-6 years ago. So this is it, Bryn. I don't want to hear any more about it after this.
Hey, you beat me to the punch. You used my own line that you knew it was coming as well. You've just put it out there first. It's smart. Very
sorry, man. I know that's your best chat you've got against me, so that's how you use it.
You just didn't bother cooking it, huh?
Well, who needs cooked chicken, right? Look, I got it completely wrong. I don't know how I got it so wrong. I thought it was, and maybe the oven wasn't, heated up enough, but it certainly had done its time. But that chicken came out well raw, so I still tried to eat it. Too much pride, but yeah, we're probably lucky we didn't get sick.
But you don't look sick right now either. You've had 2 or 3 days of celebrations going on. You look like you're in a fairly fresh mood off the back of another Crusaders title.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, you can still celebrate without, going overboard, and I've certainly done that. A couple of big days, long nights, but it's been awesome just celebrating with the team. Some key players that are leaving, and I've done the journey with Sam, Richie, and I've stayed with Ray throughout my whole rugby career, really, where we started together at Canterbury in 2014. So a lot of emotions, but it's been an awesome couple of days just being with the team.
What's that like with Razor, mate? What do you guys do for him over the next week or so, while he's still got some time?
We had the information early that he was going to be leaving, so we've been able to really enjoy knowing that it was going to be his last ride with the Crusaders. But I don't think we do anything different in such of. There's been some amazing Crusader men that have left over the years. I think the likes of Kieran Reid and Matt Todd and Ryan Crotty, all have given so much to the jersey. Razor's given just as much. Obviously, he's just had so much success that's come with that. So we acknowledge the success, but as far as being part of the team, he's just another great Crusader man.
I think first and foremost, him as a person is very caring and cares deeply around his players, and that isn't just the starting guys or the experienced players. It goes from 1 to 37, and sometimes coaches kind of miss that. They say it's a 37-man team, but sometimes they miss that aspect of connecting with players that you probably don't have to a lot. So. Has been so good for the Crusaders. I know that he was quite emotional last night, and even during the week as well, just seeing the messages and the things that he's been saying in the media. So, it's a big loss, but I think the way that the boys put on a performance last night will probably be one of the sweeter ones. I think Joburg was pretty close to it, Jack, but I think last night, with what you guys went through adversity-wise, it was pretty special. I know Razor definitely enjoyed that as well.
Where does the breakdancing rate out of the 7 titles?
I think Richie came out first and did a couple of moves, and all of a sudden Race is thinking, oh, is that what it's supposed to look like? But obviously Razor's had, he should be actually feeling better. He had a pretty major knee operation late last year, I think it was. So he's certainly moving a lot better around training. He's getting a bit of knee bend. There's a lot of pressure on that breakdancing, but I always feel like he lives up to it. he gives the fans what they want, and it's just good fun.
So was Razor on the physio table before that, do you know, Jack?
Oh, mate, it's so annoying. Like, so actually, you're trying to get your preparation right for the final, right? And you're getting strapped and massaged, and he's on the physio table, so it really pushes your warm up and your preparation. But I guess you just know that he's going to be there, getting a bit of deep heat into his shoulders and knees. So you just take that into account when it comes to the final.
Well, I suppose that's enough of the celebration chat. I'm more interested in the week leading up to that final because, you look at the Chiefs' year at home, they're going in as favourites, but the way you guys seem to build, Bryn said it really well last week, is you were peaking at the right time. No doubt you had the belief, but what was the game plan going into that week?
Well, the game plan was we knew so much of their play. We rolled around first, Damon McKenzie, and then obviously for me it was the back three that we needed to shut down. Sean Stevenson, awesome season. Narawa, fantastic. So put a lot of pressure on Damien with his kicking game, have good process around how we're going to nullify that so they don't get territory gains from their awesome kick game. And then from there, this is how do we make sure we've got plenty of defenders around their dangerous back three. Obviously, they had some moments. I would say, as far as that final goes, been fortunate enough to be in a lot. That was super hard. I would say it was the hardest. The one in Joburg, we got to a nice early lead and we held on, and that was very difficult. But that Chiefs one could have gone anyway, and that was what made it, special and I guess such a thriller.
Probably the first time in that seven years that you're actually in a tight contest and it was going to go either way. Was there anything different that you guys talked about on the field? You would have done your prep throughout the week with your what-ifs and whatnot, but did it feel any different? Did you feel any more added pressure, or was it just business as usual in finals time?
We were under the pump there for a time, and there was that. Fortunately, Damien was offside for that overthrow line out, so we caught a lucky break there. But as you know, Bryn has been through a lot of games, not necessarily those finals, but games where we have had to claw back and get a close win. So we can take a lot of confidence from that. We just stay process driven, right? We just, what's our next task? What do you need now as an individual? And just focus on that. Can't let the emotions or the expectations get to you in those moments.
Now, we did get some more feedback from somebody else last week. We obviously talked about Ian Foster expressing his disappointment in players not texting or messaging him back during the Sky broadcast of the team announcement. I think we said that we thought it might be a bit harsh to mention that publicly. Then your phone rang.
Yeah, I got a bit of a fright. I was like, it was about 9:15. I was like, geez, who's texting this late? But Fozzie wanted me to clarify he was meaning more from his point of view. He was disappointed he didn't get the opportunity to talk, not that he was disappointed the players hadn't got back to him.
Yeah.
So I said I'd rectify it this week and say that we misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
But he's a big fan of the show. Enjoyed the chat, so it's good to have the All Black coach as a fan.
And you comment in the YouTube section anytime you like, Fozzie, if you're watching online. We'll happily engage.
We do say engage with us, and he went direct to me.
Yeah, that was good. Now, before we go, we've been promising it throughout the Super Rugby season that the winner of our tipping comp would get a shot on the show, and we have the winner with us now. His name is Liam Ireland. He's a 23-year-old student out of Dunedin, and he managed to call 72 out of the 86 games, which is a phenomenal result. It really is pretty good, Jipper.
Very good, very good.
So, Liam, welcome onto the show. Congratulations.
G'day.
On coming on the show. Congratulations on joining us. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Congratulations on winning the tournament.
What a
treat. Mate, tell us a little bit about your tipping strategy. How do you end up tipping 72 out of 86 games?
Well, I was asking myself that, what do I do? Well, for one thing, I heard a couple of weeks ago Jipper saying that he tipped with his heart, and that's why he hasn't been doing so well. But big Chiefs Mana fan here, so that was almost every week a spare point. But yeah, I don't know. I watched a lot of rugby this season, probably too much. And just seeing how different teams are playing, you kind of get a feel about who's performing well and what situation. And then, there's a few games that I guess I picked that not many other people did and ended up near the top.
What do you reckon the game, like the biggest upset that you did pick?
I picked the Drua tipping the Crusaders in Fiji early in the season. I was quite impressed with that. I remember last year the Chiefs and the Highlanders who played over there saying that was the toughest Super Games they've ever played, and then just seeing the squad that the Crusaders put out, which was a little bit not their full strength squad. I thought, I think they're underestimating these guys, and sure enough.
Boom. So what do you do your picks on Thursday night, or how long do you wait before you get those things in?
I usually pick first thing in the week, so I don't forget, but I do wait until the teams come out, have a think, and I usually, on the day of the matches, I'll go in, I'll see what the vibe is, see how I'm feeling, maybe usually leave it pretty stable, but sometimes flick a few here and there. Or I ask my partner as well. She's quite big on rugby. She's saved me a couple times.
Which one did she save you with?
Oh, there was one guy. So she's a big Highlander supporter. And I thought they weren't going to do too well throughout the year, so I tipped the Drua to beat them and Dunedin, and I lost out on that. So I was getting some of the more tighter games, and I was like, I think I might go with the Rebels. And then she's like, no. Gotta believe in the boys. So sure enough, they managed to get it. It was tight. That Rebels Highlanders game, I was on the edge of my seat, but yeah.
Well, and that could have been the difference in the end because you won by 1 point. So,
yes.
Big ups to it. We maybe should have had her on the show.
Yeah, no, well, it's a credit that he canvasses what he has at his disposal to get it right. How was your margin? Did you pick many of the margins on those first games each weekend?
Not early in the season. I was quite wide off, but as the season went on, things started to tighten up a bit, I think. And I wasn't as good on the margins, but there was 1 or 2 weeks where I got within 1 or 2 points. And when they started to get to those tight games at the end of the season, it was getting it easier to pick.
Now, this is a bit of a reach, but you study native frogs, and the frogs are going to be a huge player at the World Cup this year. So I'm very interested to hear your take on them and whether you think, with your tipping, that you're going to pick them to go all the way.
They'll go to the final, I reckon. We'll see. It will be France in the final. Obviously biased towards the ABs. I think the ABs will go all the way. But my real, if I put the All Blacks to the side, Wallabies are going to be the team to beat. They've got an easy run through. They've got a good draw. Eddie Jones, and especially watching them in Super, some of the cattle they've got, and more to come from overseas. I'm picking, if I'm taking the All Blacks out of it, I'm picking a Wallabies French final with the Wallabies winning.
Just on there, what gives you confidence? What are you seeing? Obviously, there's the Eddie Jones factor, but what have you seen in Super Rugby that makes you think that they can get the job done? And also the Wallabies when they play as well.
Or just some of the players that they've got coming up, like Carter Gordon, who's just come out of nowhere. And all the older players, Reece Hodge, that's still kicking around. Michael Hooper probably hasn't been in his best form, but he just leads by example. And I think watching those Aussie teams, even if they didn't end up very high on the table, they're still competing with the Chiefs and the Crusaders for good portions of those games. And I think if you get someone like Eddie Jones who just gets all the pieces and puts them all together, they've got a world beater squad there.
And he's not the only one saying it. Like,
their side of the draw.
Yeah.
Well, where teams are placed, because obviously it's decided at the previous one, but where teams are placed currently in terms of form, there is one side that's going to be really hard. Obviously, quarterfinals probably looking at sort of South Africa, Ireland, All Blacks, France, and obviously then the winners of that will be in the semi, and then on the other side, obviously, I think it's Scotland, Fiji, England, Australia, and a number of others. So peaking at the right time, that side it gives you a massive opportunity.
Before we let you go, Liam, I just want to give you a plug for your Instagram account, Lim's Jerseys, which was also your moniker within the tipping comp. Behind you, you've got that beautiful Counties Manukau jersey right there. You're obviously wearing a nice throwback Chiefs jersey. Tell us a little bit about what this is all about.
So, I collect rugby jerseys. I started fairly early on. I had a couple of Chiefs jerseys that I'd collect. And then when I went to uni and I was surrounded by Highlanders fans, I thought, I really need to step up my game a bit. And then it just didn't stop. I have about 70 odd jerseys now, 20 Chiefs jerseys. I'm starting to really get into my retro jerseys. And it's good fun. And I like to post them on Instagram. There's a great little community of different rugby fans and rugby jersey collectors on Instagram. Everyone swaps what they've got, sees what they've found in a op shop or something. It's really cool.
Where do you find them?
Trade me, usually for the more retro ones, but I like to just go around op shops and see what they've got. Sometimes you find some really, really cool finds for real cheap because, but it's great. It's great. Fun little hobby.
Got a favourite?
Oh, I do. I do really like this classic Chiefs 1998 one. It's just a bit different,
Do you have a Blues 96, 97?
Oh, no. I have 3 Blues jerseys, not one from then, but it's definitely on the list to get. It's definitely
They're hard to get.
It's a nice jersey.
Patrick Tuipulotu and myself have been trying to hunt one down for a few years.
Right.
The old classic.
I imagine it would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you're going to be able to track down a good version of that.
Oh, yeah. I used to have one. I don't know where it is. One of the moves that got lost.
So I'm also keen to know, because I got fiercely ridiculed for this, that I feel that the best jersey doing the rounds right now in Super Rugby is the Force Away jersey, the yellow and black hoops. I love that jersey. What is your favourite jersey right now?
Right now? Oh, I do like that Force Away jersey.
Yes. See what I'm saying?
I like that Rebels Away jersey. Bit of pinks, just a bit of colour as well. Is good. But I do. My favourite is when the Brumbies do their Indigenous jerseys. I like their colour scheme and how they do it. I think when they play in those, they look really smart. Really smart.
What's your worst one that you've seen that you don't like, that you think's horrific?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's good questions here, Liam, mate.
That's why he's so surprised. He thinks it's the first one you've had all year.
I think it was a couple years ago when the Crusaders, they had a blue away jersey, and I can struggle to get behind the Crusaders at the best of times, but when they're playing in blue, that's not on. That's not on.
Is that the when they had all the blue grey ones? They all had the Adidas. Yeah. They're all made out of refined bottles, I think, that were caught out in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Liam. I'm with you on that, actually. I'm with you. It was horrific to wear.
I think any jersey that has blue in it's fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, one jersey that I do want to know about, because this is another one that I've got a hot take on that everyone ridicules me for. I really like the grey jersey that the All Blacks lost in the 2007 World Cup, and I thought that was an outstanding away jersey. It's been soiled by the result, but are you on board with that?
It's a bit. I'm not sure. Not about that one specifically. I'm not opposed to the grey. I think the grey can look quite nice, but that jersey, You can't help but just feel heartache when you see it.
Fair enough too. Fair enough. Hey, well, Liam, thank you very much for joining us, mate. And well done on 72 points from 86 games and winning the tipping comp over the 15 weeks of the regular season.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for listening, for watching.
Sweet. Every week. Never miss it.
Good man.
Nice. Okay, well, thank you very much to Liam. And as ever, James Parsons to my left. We've got no weekend of footy for you this weekend?
Oh, we'll find some reruns.
Jeez, you get withdrawals.
I will.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult weekend for Chipper. And thanks again, Bryn.
No problems, boys. Awesome to be here.
Nice, good to have you home, mate. And thank you very much for watching the Aotearoa Rugby Pod once again. You can catch us, of course, on Sky. You can catch us on audio pod, catch us on Rugby Pass on YouTube. Or you can just send us an email, make some comments. We'd like to interact with you. Thank you once again for tuning into the Aotearoa Rugby Pod. Mā te wā.